legend, very strong. He's very, very fast. And still, he's still Manny Pacquiao looks like 10 years ago.
Manny has so much experience. That man, he could get through anything. As long as they have the right plan, whatever they do, man, they have that. They'll be able to do all.
This guy is everything I would want to be, as a career, as a fighter, because he did everything with such grace and he did, hit up spectacular.
He was once one of the most feared and respected fighters of his era, and decades later, Manny Pacquiao remains a living legend. Today's elite boxers, many of whom grew up watching him, speak of Pacquiao with deep respect. But what exactly makes Pac-Man so extraordinary? What is it about this 8-division world champion that continues to amaze and even intimidate the best in the sport? With his shocking return to face Mario Barrios for the WBC welterweight title, Pacquiao has jolted the boxing world. Fighters across the board have taken notice, openly sharing what makes this old-school warrior so unique. Here's what today's top boxers are saying about Manny Pacquiao and why he may be the last true unicorn in boxing. When news broke that Pacquiao was coming out of retirement to challenge Mario Barrios, the boxing world lit up. Social media erupted, fans debated his chances, and current stars quickly reacted. Surprisingly, many didn't hold back their admiration. One of the first to speak up was Terence Crawford. Known for being brutally honest and rarely offering praise, Crawford, one of the sport's top pound-for-pound fighters, gave Manny his flowers, and that made everyone take notice.
Do you think he's too old at 46 to fight Barrios?
I can't say if he's too old or not. If he get in there and win, then
Crawford openly called Pacquiao an all-time great, and said that even at 46 years old, he wouldn't count him out. That's a big statement coming from someone who typically critiques rather than praises, but it shows the level of respect Manny has earned. Not just from fans or media, but from the very best in the sport today.
So I don't put no limit on an all-time great like Manny Pacquiao.
Manny Pacquiao, and Crawford wasn't alone. George Kambosos Jr. was another big name who reacted immediately after the announcement. The former unified lightweight champion, who held the WBA, IBF, WBO, and ring titles, has always shared a special connection with Pacquiao. Their styles, work ethic, and underdog mentalities create a clear common ground.
Yeah, it's surprising. Obviously, I know Manny very well. He's a true competitor. He's a guy that if you put something in his head, and obviously to create more history, he's a guy that's going to give everything. And
Kambosos, whose heritage traces back to Sparta, the land of warriors, knows what it means to fight with heart. In his words, when Manny Pacquiao sets a goal, he doesn't stop until he achieves it.
Try his best. That's what Manny, one thing I always learned with Manny is give 110% and try your best no matter what. So
he praised Pac-Man's legendary dedication and said, Manny still has what it takes to become champion again.
I know Manny, I know the man that I was sparring. I love that guy. So, but again, he's a legend. And he turns it on.
In fact, this wasn't the first time Kambosos had high praise for the Filipino icon. In a previous appearance on the Joe Rogan podcast, he described Manny as 1 in a billion, even stating that no one would ever break his record of becoming an 8-division world champion, a feat that remains unmatched in boxing and likely will for a very long time.
To have an opportunity like that to spar 250 rounds with one of the greatest of all time. I mean, he won world titles in 8 divisions?
8 divisions, 13 or 14 world titles.
Crazy.
It will never be done again.
Crazy.
And as much as you want to see records broken, and I want to break records, that man is a one of one.
Another reaction came from one of boxing's more colorful personalities, Rolando Raleigh Romero. Known for his brash confidence and recent high-profile win over Ryan Garcia, Raleigh had a hilarious take on Pacquiao's Hall of Fame induction. According to him, Manny should have been inducted years ago, and the fact that it didn't happen sooner was borderline disrespectful. You know it's serious when even Raleigh's sarcasm carries real admiration.
Manny Pacquiao, he's going to be inducted in the Hall of Fame. He's an inductee.
Wait, he isn't inducted yet?
Not yet. He's an inductee.
Wait. Wait. So Manny Pacquiao is not inducted in the Hall of Fame?
Not yet. What does he mean to the sport of boxing?
No, wait. Y'all just got me fucked up. Wait. The one
in Canastota.
The one 8 division champion not inducted to the Hall of Fame. So, well, I mean, obviously now he's about to be.
Speaking of Ryan Garcia, his words were more heartfelt than humorous. Ryan has never hidden his admiration for Pacquiao. In fact, he's openly called Manny his idol, saying, "Pacquiao was everything I ever wanted to be." But for Ryan, it wasn't just about boxing. It was about who Manny was as a human being.
One of my idols. Like, I really look up to Pacquiao. Like, people don't know, but like, he's one of the people I look at. I'm like, man, like, this guy is everything I would want to be, you know, as a...
Garcia spoke about the legendary Filipinos' community efforts, his generosity, and how he inspired him not just in the ring, but in life. He mentioned how Manny helped so many people, and that's something Ryan hopes to do as well. For someone as media savvy as Garcia, that kind of respect says a lot and shows that Manny's influence goes far beyond boxing gloves and championship belts.
He did everything, like, you know, with such grace, and he did, you know, hit up spectacular fights. He helped out his community. I'm trying to do things similar like that, but me, I'm more of I want to get back to, you know, like the younger generation. I want to help.
Then there's Devin Haney, the slick two-division champion known for his technical brilliance and composure in the ring. Haney didn't hesitate to call Manny Pacquiao a legend. He stressed that age shouldn't fool anyone. Manny's skills, timing, and mindset are still dangerous. According to Devin, people underestimate him because he's older, but that's not how you measure someone like Pacquiao. And that's the recurring theme in all these reactions. Pacquiao isn't just a former champ. He's a force of nature, a fighter whose legacy is so deeply embedded in the sport that even in his mid-40s, stepping into the ring again doesn't feel like a gimmick. It feels like unfinished business.
Pacquiao is a legend. I think that he's a real good fighter, and I think that people underestimate his skills because he's older or he lost to Floyd. But I still think that he has a lot in store, and I think that he could beat a lot of the top guys here. So I don't know.
Whether or not Pacquiao can actually defeat a much younger Mario Barrios remains to be seen, but one thing is crystal clear. The current generation of boxers still holds him in the highest regard. And they're not just being polite. These are fighters who studied him, grew up watching him, and in some cases were directly mentored or inspired by him. Manny Pacquiao isn't just coming back to fight, he's coming back to remind the world why he's one of the greatest to ever do it. And based on the respect pouring in from today's champions, it's safe to say the boxing world is watching closely. Even Gervonta "Tank" Davis, famous for his trash talk and bold personality, had nothing but respect for Pacquiao. That says a lot. Trash talking is practically part of Tank's DNA, and he rarely holds back. But when the Filipino legend visited him before one of his fights, Davis made it clear, Manny's a cool guy, genuine, respectful, and someone you can't help but admire, even if you're cut from a different cloth.
So really quick, tell me about Manny Pacquiao coming to visit you. He flew all the way from the Philippines to watch you fight. It's like an 18-hour flight. He's a really cool guy.
Yeah, he's cool.
Did he give you any advice or tips?
I don't think he gave me no tip, but it definitely was fire to have him come.
Surprise you.
And surprise, bro. That was fire.
And it's not just Tank. Chris Algieri, a former WBO junior welterweight champion and welterweight title challenger, has praised Manny on multiple occasions. Algieri once said without hesitation that Pacquiao hits harder than Errol Spence Jr. Let that sink in. Spence is a big, strong welterweight known for his heavy hands. Yet it was Manny, the smaller man on paper, who left the bigger impression when it came to raw power.
I remember when I fought Errol Spence, and he was the first fighter to ever stop me, and everyone was asking, man, I mean, he must hit harder than Pacquiao and Rusan. And I said, no, actually, he doesn't hit harder than either. They both hit harder than him. Well, how did he stop him? Like, he hit me with a lot. It wasn't the one punch. It was the number of punches that he landed on me that was able to get me.
What's more, Algieri didn't come into that fight unprepared. In fact, he admitted that leading up to the bout with Pacquiao, he had one of the best training camps of his entire career. He was in peak condition, had all the right tools, and still, it just wasn't enough. That's the kind of greatness we're talking about here.
My trajectory was so fast. It was exponential how quickly I got from, literally fighting in my hometown to
fighting Manny Pacquiao and Macau. It was such a blur at the time. I was just so focused. I think a couple days ago you said that I was like the nerd in school. Well, I was a nerd in the gym too. I left no stone unturned. I trained so hard. I did everything right. I went to sleep early. All my food was perfect. My training was exceptional. I had all the good sparring partners. I left no stone unturned. And that was the way that I was able to deal with any kind of nerves going into a fight. Homework. I did my homework, so I was prepared. I always knew I was prepared for every fight, even if I didn't know what I needed.
Then there's Vasily Lomachenko, arguably one of the most technically gifted boxers in the world today. Loma's footwork is next level, his speed is dazzling, and some even joke that he sees the world in slow motion because of how smooth and calculated his movements are. So when someone like Lomachenko compliments another fighter's speed and movement, it carries real weight. Loma has said that Pacquiao is fast, strong, and, in his own words, a living legend. He even pointed out that Manny still moves the same way he did a decade ago. At an age when most fighters are slowing down, Pacquiao looks like he's sipping from the fountain of youth.
And big pleasure fight with legend, you know? Very strong, he's very, very fast. And still Manny Pacquiao looks like
Errol Spence Jr., who was scheduled to fight Pacquiao before an eye injury forced him to withdraw, also showed nothing but respect. Spence acknowledged the legacy Manny carries, and even though the fight never took place, it was clear that just being linked to Pacquiao through promotion and build-up was meaningful to him.
Like, what can I say about future Hall of Famer, legend in sports?
Only 8th division champion in boxing.
Yeah,
and still a champion at the highest level.
Oh, yeah.
And let's not forget Teofimo Lopez, a 2-division world champion with plenty of star power himself. He pointed to Pacquiao's experience as one of his greatest weapons. According to Lopez, if Manny has the right game plan, he can beat anyone. It's not just about speed or power, it's about IQ, ringcraft, and that unshakable confidence that comes from years at the top.
Manny has so much experience. That man, he could get through anything. As long as they have the right plan, or whatever they do, man, they'll be able to do all that.
All these fighters, past and present, young and seasoned, agree on one thing. Manny Pacquiao is a rare breed. He's not just a legend because of what he's accomplished, but because of how he carries himself in and out of the ring. Respect, after all, is earned, and Manny has earned it from the very best. But what about you, fight fans? Where do you rank Manny Pacquiao among the all-time greats? Do you think he has a real shot at becoming a world champion at 46? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more content like this.